In the heart of a storm, where chaos reigns and the sky weeps, one creature finds its power. It doesn't run from the darkness, it doesn't hide from the wind. It faces the tempest, spreads its wings, and uses the very force trying to break it to soar higher. This is the story of a man who, like the eagle, learned to master the storms of life, turning adversity into a global empire. This is the story of Gopichand Hinduja. Our journey begins not in the gleaming boardrooms of London or Geneva, but in the bustling, sun-drenched streets of Shikarpur in British India. Born in 1940, Gopichand was the second son of Parmanand Deepchand Hinduja, a visionary merchant who had already laid the foundations of a trading business. The family motto was simple but profound: "My word is my bond." This wasn't just a business principle. It was the very fabric of their existence, a promise of integrity that would guide them through the turbulent decades to come. Young Gopichand grew up in a world on the brink of monumental change. The echoes of World War II were fading, but the winds of partition were gathering strength. He witnessed the upheaval, the displacement, and the uncertainty that tore through the subcontinent. It was a baptism by fire, a lesson in resilience learned not in a classroom, but in the crucible of history. While his father established a trading office in Iran in 1919, seeing opportunities where others saw risk, the family's roots remained in a land that was fracturing. The Hinduja family's first major storm came with the Iranian Revolution in 1979. For decades, Iran had been their center of gravity. It was the hub from which they had built a thriving import-export business, becoming a trusted name in the region. But revolutions are like flash floods. They spare no one. The new regime brought instability, nationalization, and a political climate hostile to their enterprise. Everything they had painstakingly built over 60 years was suddenly at risk of being washed away. Imagine watching a lifetime of work crumble before your eyes. The uncertainty, the fear, the immense pressure. Many would have surrendered, accepting defeat as a cruel twist of fate. But the Hindujas were forged from a different metal. They didn't see an end. They saw a forced, painful, yet necessary new beginning. This was their first great test. Instead of clinging to the wreckage of their past, they made a decision that would redefine their destiny. They would move their headquarters to Europe. This wasn't just a change of address. It was a leap into the unknown. They were leaving the familiar markets of the East for the highly competitive, established economies of the West. It was a monumental gamble. The brothers Srichan Gopichand Prakash and Ashok had to navigate new cultures, new laws, and a business world that was worlds apart from what they knew. This was their wilderness, their period of doubt. Could they, a family of Indian traders, make it on the global stage? Could their principles of trust and honor survive in the cutthroat world of Western finance? The storm was raging, and they were right in its eye. Like an eagle learning to use the updrafts of a gale, the Hinduja brothers began their ascent. The move to London was the turning point. Gopichand, along with his brothers, saw an opportunity not just to survive, but to diversify and expand on a scale they had never imagined. They applied a simple yet powerful philosophy: find a need and fill it, but do so by acquiring struggling companies and turning them around. Their first major move was the acquisition of Ashok Leyland from British Leyland in 1987. It was an Indian commercial vehicle manufacturer, a company with deep roots but facing significant challenges. Many saw it as a risky investment, but the Hindujas saw potential. They saw a national asset that, with the right vision and management, could become a powerhouse. Under their leadership, Ashok Leyland was transformed. It grew from a local player into one of the largest commercial vehicle manufacturers in the world, a symbol of Indian industrial might. This set the template for their strategy. They weren't just traders anymore. They were builders. They ventured into banking, acquiring a bank in Switzerland and later founding IndusInd Bank in India, named after the Indus Valley civilization to signify their deep connection to their heritage. They saw the burgeoning energy needs of a growing world and invested in oil and gas with Gulf Oil. They entered healthcare, media, and real estate. Each investment was a calculated flight into a new storm, a new challenge they were determined to conquer. Gopichand, often described as the dynamic force driving the group's expansion, became a master of this art. He had a keen eye for undervalued assets and the patience and discipline to nurture them back to health. He operated on a global scale, weaving a complex web of businesses that spanned continents. The Hinduja Group became a sprawling, diversified conglomerate with interests in 11 different sectors, from automotive and finance to technology and media. Their success was built on a unique blend of Eastern values and Western business acumen. The family's core principle, "My word is my bond," remained their North Star. In a world of complex contracts and legal battles, their reputation for integrity became their greatest asset. They built relationships that lasted decades, partnerships founded not just on profit, but on mutual respect and trust. They showed the world that you could build a multi-billion-dollar empire without sacrificing your soul. But the rise was not without its own tempests. The Hinduja brothers faced scrutiny, controversy, and the immense pressure that comes with operating at the highest levels of global business and politics. There were whispers, allegations, and political firestorms. Yet, through it all, they remained a tight-knit unit, a family bound by a shared purpose. They weathered these storms as they had weathered the first one in Iran together. They stood firm, their resilience a testament to their strong foundations. The eagle, after all, develops its strength not on clear days, but by flying against the wind, its wings growing more powerful with every gust it overcomes. So, what can we learn from the life of a man who helped steer his family from the markets of Shikarpur to the commanding heights of global wealth? The first lesson is the power of vision. The Hindujas didn't just see the world as it was. They saw what it could be. They saw opportunities in crises, potential in struggling companies, and a future that transcended borders. They teach us that our circumstances do not define our destiny. Our vision does. The second lesson is the strength of resilience. Life will throw storms at you. You will face setbacks, failures, and moments of profound doubt. You might lose what you've built, just as the Hindujas lost their base in Iran. The question is not whether you will fall, but how you will rise. Gopichand's story shows us that every storm is an opportunity for growth. It's in the heart of the struggle that we find our true strength. The eagle doesn't escape the storm. It uses the storm to rise higher. The third, and perhaps most important lesson, is the enduring power of integrity. In a world that often rewards shortcuts, the Hinduja family built their legacy on a simple promise. Their word is their bond. This principle was their anchor in turbulent seas, their compass in uncharted territory. It reminds us that success without honor is an empty victory. True wealth isn't just measured in dollars, but in the trust you earn and the reputation you build. Your character is your most valuable asset. Gopichand Hinduja's life is a powerful metaphor for human potential. He and his family faced partition, revolution, and the immense challenges of global business. They faced the winds of change head-on and learned to soar. Their story is not just about building wealth. It's about building a legacy, about turning adversity into advantage, and about holding on to one's values in a world that is constantly changing. Look around you. We all face storms in our lives. Storms of doubt, of fear, of loss. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to believe that the darkness is permanent. But I want you to remember the eagle. I want you to remember that within you lies the same strength, the same courage, the same unyielding spirit. You have the power to face your own tempest, to spread your wings, and to use the very challenges meant to break you as the force that lifts you higher. Don't run from your storm. Learn from it, grow from it. Let it make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. No matter how dark the sky may seem, you were born to soar above it. You are far more powerful than you know. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that empowers you to reach your highest potential. Believe in yourself and never stop soaring.